Good morning, students. We have completed our lesson up to Arthashastra. Now we will see the information about Indica. Indica was written by Megasthenes. He was the Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He had been sent to court by Seleucus. Seleucus was the Greek ruler. Megasthenes wrote a book that is named as Indica, which is containing his impressions of what he heard, his thoughts, whatever he heard and saw during his stay in India at the ruling time of Chandragupta Maurya. Megasthenes' original Indica has been lost, but its fragments still survive in the writings of later Greek authors like Strabo, Arrian, and Diodorus. By that we can get more information about Indica. Even the writers, those who wanted to get more information, they never got the proper or the original copy of Indica. That's why they are referring that writing books which are arranged or written by that authors, Greek authors like Strabo, Arrian, and Diodorus. Now we have to see archaeological sources. Archaeological sources in that first we will see edicts of Ashoka. Edict means an edict is a decree issued by a sovereign. Means what? In that the rules regulations of that specific country is mentioned. The edicts of Ashoka from the most important source of Mauryan history. Ashoka's edicts are played a vital role in the Mauryan history. That are the oldest and best preserved and precisely dated records of India. Means that are the oldest, because what? By that records, by that writings, other authors are getting information. That's why it is called the oldest source of information. These edicts are inscribed on rocks and pillars throughout the country. In our country, we can see that various rocks and pillars are engraved or inscribed, including 14 major rock edicts. Among that, 14 rock edicts are playing major role. 7 pillar edicts and a number of minor rock edicts. In that, 14 major rocks are there, then 7 pillar edicts and a number of minor rocks edicts are available. The inscription on these edicts provide a useful insight into the life and ideals of Ashoka in particular and about history of the Mauryas in general. By that pillar writings or by that edicts, we are getting more information about the life of Ashoka, his ideals, and the history of Mauryas. The most important event of Ashoka's reign was the conquest of Kalinga. The indescribable suffering and atrocities of the Kalinga war deeply touched Ashoka's conscience, and he made a solemn resolve not to take up arms anymore. Whenever the battle of Kalinga fought by Ashoka's army at the time, thousands of people just died. Many of them lost their some of them lost their hands, lost their legs, some children lost their parents, their fathers. So that all crying whenever Ashoka heard at that time, he deeply touched by the feeling of that soldiers who died in the battle, and after that he decided to stop that battles to getting or to capturing the other kingdoms. Afterwards, he is shaken deeply by the atrocities and he decided to follow the Dhamma. And the war drum was silenced forever, and henceforth were heard only echoes of Dhamma Ghosh, the call of non-violence and universal peace. In short, that is called as Dhamma Ghosh or the call of non-violence. He started to follow Ahimsa, and that is called as universal peace. In pursuance of his policy of non-violence. He prohibited killing of animals for sacrifices. He stopped the process of bali, advocated restraint in the number that had to be killed for consumption. Even he decided how many animals should number that had been killed for consumption. Even he protected some of the animals and in general condemned cruel acts against animals. The person who is doing cruel act against that animals, that person was punished. Reference to protection of animals is made in the Rock Edict first, which states, even he created law rules about animal, which is inscribed in the Rock Edict first, which is explaining like that law is written in that, or that rule is written in that way. Formerly in the great refectory and temple of the heaven beloved King Piyadasi, Delhi, were many 100,000 animals sacrificed for the sake of meat food. So even at this day, while this religious edict is under promulgation, from the sacrifice of animals for the sake of food, some too are killed or one is killed, but now the joyful chorus resounds again and again that henceforward not a single animal shall be put to death. By that we are understanding that previously various types of animals were killed, but now that thing should be stopped. That was mentioned by Ashoka, and he had the vast empire under his control. That's why the rule was for the whole country. That was translated by James Princip. Then we have to see the second archaeological source, that is the Sanchi Stup. Sanchi Stup is a semi-spherical and solid dome-like structure made of unburnt bricks and stones. Unburnt bricks and stones were just used for the creation of Sanchi Stup, or construction for Sanchi Stup. The Buddhist stup has special significance. Buddhist stupa is having the special importance. It represents the spiritual body of Buddha, containing his relics such as hair, teeth, or bones. That is called, or that is the belief that the the stupa is representing the spiritual body of Buddha, which is containing the relics such as hair, teeth, or bones. A casket containing these relics is placed under the base of the dome. It is the belief of people. The foundation of the Sanchi Stupa was led by Ashoka at Sanchi, about 45 kilometers from Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. That relics were just brought by Ashoka in Sanchi, which is situated 45 kilometers from Bhopal, which is situated in Madhya Pradesh. There are 4 gateways in 4 directions. They have carved panels depicting events from the life of Buddha. And some tales from Jataka stories. Buddha is represented by symbol like the peepal tree, lotus, or a well. The pillars are surmounted by capitals which contain sculptures of lions. Means what? In short, we can see that Sanchi Stupa is having 4 gates for 4 sides, and Buddha is represented by various symbols like peepal tree, lotus, or a well. Even that pillars are surmounted by capitals which contain sculptures of lions. In short, that 4 doorways, 4 gateways are showing the capitals which are containing the sculptures of lions. Now Mauryan Empire and remaining part we will see in next lecture.